Hello everybody. In this video I'm gonna talk about quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. What is quadratic equation? Any equation with the format of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. We call it quadratic equation, which x is the variable, a, b, and c are constant. Same as 2x squared plus 5bx plus c plus 6 is equal to 0. So x is the variable, a, b, and c are constant. This equation, ax squared plus bx plus c, we call it quadratic equation, and the one restriction is applied, which is a shouldn't be equal to 0. b and c can be 0, but a shouldn't be equal to 0. Why? Because if a be 0, then 0 multiplied by this x squared is gonna be 0, so this term is gonna be eliminated, and bx plus c is not a quadratic equation. This equation is a second degree equation. Why? Because the highest exponent of x is 2. So we can call it second degree equation or quadratic equation. Example of quadratic equation: 3x squared plus 5x minus 6 equal to 0. This is an example of quadratic equation. In this format, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, we call it a standard format. A standard format, which is ordered, the degrees is ordered from highest to lowest, 2, 1, and no degree or 0 degree, x to the power of 0, and all the terms are in one side equal to 0. We call it a standard format. Ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 is a quadratic equation in the standard format. If I want to compare this 3x squared, where is my eraser? Let's see. I will write this a shouldn't be equal to 0 in this side. Now, if I compare these two equations, a is 3, b is 5, and c is negative 6. Okay. So we can relate this equation with the standard format, and these are the constants. Another example of quadratic equation: x squared minus 2x plus 7 equal to 0. This is another example of quadratic equation. In this case, a is 1. There is no coefficient for x, or when there is no coefficient, it means the coefficient is 1. If you remember the name of this a, b, and b, we called it coefficient. The name of this c is constant. The name of x is variable, and the name of each of this one is term. So this equation have three terms: x squared, negative 2x, and plus 7 are three terms of this equation, or this equation, and 1, negative 2 are the coefficient, and 7 is the constant. Now for this one again, a is 1, the coefficient of x squared is 1, b is negative 2, and c is positive 7 or 7. One more example of quadratic equation. Let's go to erase this one. As an example, this one. X squared minus 5 equal to 0. Is this one a quadratic equation? Yes. Why? Because the only restriction that we have, look at that here, the only restriction that we have, A shouldn't be 0, but B and C can be 0. Again, the equation gonna be quadratic equation. In this example, what is A? A is 1. What is B? There is no X here, so B gonna be 0. Why? Because I can rewrite this one as X squared or plus 0x minus 5 is equal 0. Compare these two. This one is x squared minus 5 equals 0. This one is x squared plus 0x minus 5 is equal 0. 0 multiplied by anything gonna be 0. So I didn't change the equation. I added the middle term by 0 coefficient. It means B is 0 in this one. And what is C? C is negative 5. So this is another format of standard format of quadratic equation. Another example. Let me erase this one. Five x squared is equal 0. Is this one quadratic equation? Compare this one with the top one. A is 5. What is B? B is 0, because I can rewrite this one as 5x squared plus 0x plus 0 is equal to 0. Yet these two are the same. 0 times any number is going to be 0, and this one is 0, doesn't change the equation. Can you see? Actually, this one is the simplified format of this one. If we compare with this one with the top or this one with the top, then A is 5, B is 0, and C is 0. So this one is a quadratic equation too. Now, not all the quadratic equation are in the standard format. Sometimes we need to change the equation or convert to the equation to the standard format. As an example, look at this one. 3x squared minus 5x is equal 7. Okay. Is this one a quadratic equation? Yes, because we have x squared, which is the important part. But again, sometimes it's hard. This one is a very simple example that we can recognize in the same format that is quadratic. But sometimes it's going to be complicated a little bit. So for identifying that if an equation is a quadratic equation or not, move all the terms in one side and put it equal to 0, then arrange the degree from highest to lowest, then compare with the quadratic equation standard format. If it's the same, then gonna be quadratic. If not, it's not a quadratic equation. For this one, how we can convert it to the standard format? First, move all the term in one side. I just need to move this 7 from right to left. Then it's going to be 3x squared minus 5x minus 7 equal to 0. Remember, I can add a 0 here, and when I'm moving these terms to other side, this 0 remain on the right side. So I converted the top equation at the bottom to the standard format. All the terms are in one side equal to 0, and the degree is ordered from highest degree to lowest degree. So now I can compare with this one, with the standard format, general standard format, and I can recognize that is the quadratic equation. Sometimes they ask convert to the standard format and recognize A, B, and C. So in this case, what is A? A is 3. What is B? B is -5. And what is C? C is -7. So these are the coefficients of this quadratic equation. Let's go one step forward. I want to see that if this equation 3x squared minus 19 is equal to 0. Is this equation a quadratic equation? Comparing with the general format, the standard format, then we can see A is, first of all, is a quadratic equation because the highest degree of x is 2 and is ordered from highest to lowest, and the restriction, which is A. What is A? A is 3. And the restriction A shouldn't be 0 is applied because A is 3. So A is 3. How much is B? B is 0. And how much is C? C is -19. So this equation is quadratic equation. Let's do this example. Oh, I shouldn't erase this one, but I'm gonna rewrite it again. So, this is the standard format. Ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. And I want to see if 2x squared is equal to x squared minus 16x, x squared minus 16x plus 64. I want to know that if this is a quadratic equation or not. First step is not in the standard format. In the standard format, all the variable, all the term should be in one side and to be equal to 0. I'm gonna move this negative 2x squared from the left to the right, okay, and then rewrite the equation. So this one gonna be x squared minus 16x plus 64, and if I move this one to the other side, minus 2x squared. Yep, it's positive. Move to the other side is negative x squared. In this side gonna be remain 0, right? I'm just gonna move this 0 from left side to right side, okay, to make it more compatible with this one. So it's gonna be x squared. Oh, sorry, x squared and negative 2x squared. These two are like term. X squared minus 2x squared, the result is going to be minus x squared minus 16x plus 64, and I move this 0 to the other side, equal to 0. So this one is again a quadratic equation. Okay. Because what is A? A is -1, B is -16, and C is 64. Now, let's do one more example. X squared minus 1 minus 4x is equal to x squared plus 1. Okay. I want to see that if this equation is a quadratic equation or not. First of all, I cannot just see from the beginning that if it's quadratic or not. We can guess, but it's going to be very risky. First, simplify this one, move everything to the one side, and then compare with the standard format. So if I expand this one, multiply this one by inside the bracket, x squared times 1 is x squared multiplied by negative 4x. Positive times negative is negative, 4x cubed is equal to x squared plus 1. Now, if I move everything from right to left, it's going to be x squared minus 4x cubed minus x squared minus 1 equal to 0. Right? Now, this positive x squared and negative x squared cancel each other. What is the remaining part? Minus 4x cubed minus 1 equal to 0. And if you look at this one, what is the degree of x? Is 3. But the degree of x should be 2. So it means this one is not a quadratic equation. One more example. X squared x squared is equal to x minus 1 to the power of 2. Okay? We want to see that if this one is a quadratic equation or not. First of all, we have to expand this one. So it's going to be x squared is equal x minus 1 to the power of 2. I can write it as x minus 1 times x minus 1 because this one is to the power of 2. Or I can use this formula, x minus y to the power of 2 is equal x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. If I remember this formula, it's going to be faster than this one and easier. But anyway, we can do in any method that you like. I want to use that formula. So it's going to be x squared minus first times next times 2. 1 times 1 is 1 times 2 is 2. So minus 2x plus 1. Now, again, move everything to one side. X squared, move everything from left to right, from right to left, x minus x squared, plus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. Is positive, moving to the other side negative, this one change and this one change. Now simplify this one, this x squared and this x squared cancel each other, 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. And as you see, this one is not quadratic equation because compared with this one, there is no x squared, there is no second degree of x. So we cannot, for the equation in this format or the equation that they are not in the standard format, we cannot judge at the beginning. We cannot say at the beginning that if it's quadratic or not. We should simplify them, move all the term in one side, then compare with the general format. So it's fine for this part. In the next video, I'm going to continue. Bye for now.